you know that the answer is in the silence. That's where the power comes from. And wherein a shift can be made. So we're talking about forgiveness and the need to do that. So the question, when are we going to do it? Today, tomorrow? And to know that we're already late. We're already late. As you've indicated, a lot of it is about holding on. And I tend to see it sometimes in terms of it's like a debt. And those of you who may have businesses or whatever, and you keep a record of who owes you what and who hasn't paid. And so you're carrying those chits around with you. You're expecting some kind of payment that you are owed something, right? And so when you get whatever it is you feel that you're owed, then, as was mentioned, the idea of forgetting, for me, forgetting would be, in the truest sense of the word, account clear, debt settled, you know, and to know that, as you've also indicated, or implicit in there somewhere, is my involvement. It's where I care or choose to put myself in the equation. And I think it was Connie said something like, unforgiving is of the ego. Unforgiving. And I think there's a great arrogance sometimes in unforgiving, or even the assumption that you have to ask for my forgiveness. It is, you know, who am I? Who laid the rules? Because within the whole thing of forgiveness and making, you know, amends, there's a judgment aspect. Who set the rules to decide that what you did is unforgivable? Who said? Was it a tacit agreement between you and me? Or is it society's rules or the community I belong to? I had an interesting situation, two interesting situations recently. And one where someone had transgressed what would be seen to be a principle, if you like. And so in the specific role that I was playing, I was supposed to bring this to the person's attention and maybe query why or whatever. And the other person said to me, "You're too lenient." I don't know what she expected me to do, you know, to beat them, or... And one of the things that makes the so-called forgiveness is not a big thing in my vocabulary, because I'm too cognizant of my own humanity and my own weaknesses, you know, to actually point the finger at somebody else. Because in that position, it's, I'm better than you. You let me down. You were the failure. You're the bad guy. And I, in my sense of self-righteousness, am the good guy. And then there was another situation which was a little testing. And again, it was with someone with whom I was fairly close. And maybe the world could look at it in one sense and say that despite your closeness, there was some deception there, okay? And therefore you have to, you know, learn to forgive them or whatever, or hold them responsible. And when I thought about it, you didn't do it to me. You did it to yourself. So who am I in the equation? And so again, like one of the whole aspect of judgment, and I love this idea, you know, like many of the ideas that you have, whether Judaic or Christian, of judge not that you may be judged. And always remember that however you are judging someone else, that's the same measure by which you will be judged. You're setting a standard. So however you're judging somebody else, that's how you will also be judged. And I say I'm too cognizant of my own failings and my own weaknesses to determine that you've done something that is unforgivable. Or the most basic prayer, even though it's such antiquated language and maybe people don't even hear it anymore, but forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Mostly we're caught up in the aspect of what's been done to us, rather than, hey, you know, I need to seek your forgiveness, because I know I've screwed up, you know, in many senses. And so it's this thing of being able to let people off the hook, because the other thing that you're doing when you're not forgiving someone, along with yourself, you have put them in a time warp. You're back there. That person could well have evolved, you know, way past your sense of self-righteousness and is moving along unhindered on their spiritual path, whereas I'm still stuck. And in my consciousness, I've set them there. And just like we've all seen, because we're all adults in the room, that maybe were things that happened when we were children, or our parents were not God, they were less than perfect. And this idea that we needed to forgive them. And so what is forgiving them mean? It's just to see humanity, you know, in all its forms, and that they were, for the most part, doing the best they could. It wasn't necessarily with some deliberation that somebody messed you up or did something to you. And so this thing of just making your own way easy. As Marianne was saying, you know, it's like, don't you want to be happy? You know? And so one of the things that I find too, that as she's saying, I've forgotten the word that was used, but where you're kind of working on it in a sense, and that with time, and again as you become older, you find this, that sometimes I'll think, oh yeah, somebody did something, that person, they did something to me that wasn't very nice, but I can't remember what it was. You know, that is like, this is one of the areas where a failing memory is very beneficial, you know, it's very useful. Yeah, and so there's still that little trace. And I think, just to close with an image from Daddy Janky, many of you know Daddy, who's the head of our organization at 103 years of age. And so the whole thing of, it was probably, maybe I missed it when I was out of the room, but where we sometimes, you know, use this idea of, like, the very word itself, it's forgiving, and I think it translates the same way in Spanish, right? Perdonar. And so it's like, again, evidently you do not have enough within you to be able to afford to forgive somebody. And so it's, again, checking your resources, that you're thinking they owe you, but do I have enough not only to be able to give them something, and for them that, okay, they know that they did something erroneous or that they owe something, but that your power is such that in seeing them, in being able to see them, and today our whole theme was about equality, we're all equal. not higher, lower, all equal. That your power is such that you're even able to allow them to forget their mistake. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. That's taking it at a very high level. And that you're not looking at them with any residual of what happened before, and that you're able to see again the love and the potential and where they want to be, and encouraging them for that.
On the front you can as well. But take your inner attention to your soul. And imagine yourself as a tiny point of light in the middle of the forehead. Tiny but more powerful. Around. And clean and pure. Filled with virtues. Imagine yourself as the yogi in bliss. And imagine that light radiating from your innermost world. That tiny point beginning to spread the energy outside. And the light moving throughout your body. Healing everything in its way. And now imagine that light spreading in the direction of those you want to forgive. A wave coming towards them of positive vibration. Filled with peace and love. And now imagine their energy changing for the better. And as I do this, I feel the situation healing. The relationship improving. And releasing the past. Letting go. And I can almost see us being friends again. Feeling that there's a future to look forward to. Relishing in this newfound peace. I continue to spread my light. And now I imagine the world in my palm. And now I imagine a wave of powerful energy moving across the world. And healing it. And healing everyone in it. I spend the minute spreading vibrations of peace to those around me. And I enjoy this peace myself. And this peace allows me to tap into the peace from a higher power. And now I'm diving in the ocean of peace. And now my energy of peace becomes stronger. Connected with the ocean of peace. I feel empowered to help the world even more. I feel I have a partner in this journey. That gives me strength. It cheers me on. Reassuring me that I can find peace and forgiveness. And I can help others forgive. And then in this partnership, I create a support system. That helps me heal. Leaving the past behind. Letting go of all my past memories. I continue to feel the peace I'm creating. Changing my energy for the better. And being at peace with all that is. Om Shanti.